You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905 812 2923. Info at netsoftakademy.com. www.netsoftakademy.com.
So now let's talk about the other mailbox management and email control options that are available in Exchange Server 2019. So beyond the basic mailbox management, Exchange Server 2019 provides administrators with a wider range of tools to enhance the mailbox functionality, control email flow, ensure security, and maintain business continuity. These capabilities can all be accessed through the Exchange Admin Center, and they are complementary to the core mailbox administration, which help the organization maintain a reliable and secure messaging environment. A few of the features or the few of the advanced mailbox features, let's just term them as advanced mailbox features here, include archiving and retention policies, mailbox delegation, litigation hold and in-place hold. Now, we use these for compliance purposes. Remember that this is a different topic altogether and it's a different subject altogether. Then we have mailbox mobility features to give access across multiple devices. All of these together make it easy for the administrators to manage and control what the user can do and cannot do with regards to their mailboxes. Now, we also talked about this earlier that Exchange Server 2019 provides various disaster recovery strategies. Now, the idea of all of these strategies is to minimize downtime. So basically, a few options that are available to us to ensure disaster recovery include configuring database availability groups for automatic failovers, managing mailbox database copies across multiple servers, and performing recovery operations for failed or corrupted databases. Now, all of these on the surface level look very simple, but in reality, each of it in its own is another task. A database availability group basically creates a failover cluster. So, when you create multiple copies of the database across multiple servers, you create basically an active passive infrastructure where one copy is actively held on one mailbox server and the other is passively held. Now, all of these help in ensuring that your downtime is little to absolutely none. Now, in theory, it is a good idea, but in practice, we combine multiple strategies together to ensure that we get the high availability that we always discuss about. Now let's talk about the business continuity settings in Exchange Admin Center. Now, remember one thing, disaster recovery and business continuity go hand in hand. Disaster recovery is ensuring that no matter what happens, services still continue. Business continuity is getting back to business as quickly as possible. Both of them are very well interconnected with each other. Now, the purpose of the business continuity planning or settings is that we want to ensure uninterrupted email services or uninterrupted messaging services. So, how can we do that? The first thing that we can do is configure automatic failover and site resilience, have backup power, have multiple servers running the same or multiple servers running as a cluster to ensure failure is only isolated to one machine and not the entire site. Now, in case of a total power outage or in case of a total blackout in that region, have a secondary site or a backup power source ready, like a generator or an uninterrupted power supply. Something else. Monitor your mailbox replication and the health status of your servers so that you can always plan your entire maintenance schedule around it rather than having this. So, one interesting thing that we should understand here is even Microsoft, even with their entirety of data centers and now all these things, they have around 10% of servers undergoing maintenance at any given point of time throughout the year. So just imagine 10% of their servers, 365 days a year. So no matter what happens, 90% of the servers are working, 10% is being updated or maintained or reimaged or being scrapped, being replaced. All of that is happening in the background. Similar strategies should be applied to have preventive maintenance rather than reactive maintenance. And lastly, plan for mailbox moves and database maintenance without affecting your end users in case you want to integrate the cloud only services to ensure better, how do I put it, resilience. That's the term for it, to ensure better resilience. All of these ensure that users are not suffering. We don't want the end user to suffer. We don't want to have any interruption in our workflow. And that is the goal behind both business continuity and disaster recovery. So keep that in mind, and I'll see you in the next topic. The next topic is called public folders and shared mailboxes. Now, these are two such ideas and two such technologies that are very important for centralized management of collaborative mailbox resources. Now, public folders are generally used for shared content that is accessible throughout the organization, and shared mailboxes are used to allow multiple users to send or receive emails from a common mailbox. The best example of a shared mailbox would be something like support. You send an email to support at microsoft.com or support at any website or any service.com. You might notice that the people responding back are always different. It's not the same person who's responding to your email. It is a group of multiple people who are responding to the email. That is the best example of a shared mailbox. One mailbox that is shared between multiple users. Public folders are just folders wherein you can organize all of your content. Think of it like your, how do I put it? Think of it like your on-premises NAS or on-premises SAN. Any of those wherein the data is available to everyone and anybody can copy or anybody can move data around. But there are certain limitations, there are certain other policies that need to be put in place. One interesting note on public folders is the fact that Microsoft and its cloud-based exchange online interpretation of this entire technology has been very clear in not wanting users to use public folders and instead focus more towards SharePoint and OneDrive. They want to do that to ensure that this technology can be slowly phased out, and it has been working very well for them. Now let's talk about client connectivity and access. Administrators can configure secure access for clients that include Outlook application. Remember, there's a difference between Outlook application and Outlook web app or Outlook web access. It's called OVA. That is on the browser. So the Outlook native Outlook application or the Outlook web app or mobile devices and their access management. And administrators can configure all of these things. Administrators can also enforce authentication policies, and that include multi-factor authentication to make sure that security is a little bit tighter. And lastly, administrators can configure MAPI over HTTP and Outlook Anywhere for better connectivity, but it is generally considered to be a little bit over HTTP is considered to be a little bit suspicious, so they would have to also use HTTPS and other protocols as necessary. Depending on what kind of traffic it is, depending on what kind of access it is, the client connectivity and access would be determined based on the requirement, the role, and the necessity. All of these play an important role in this. So now let's move our focus from what the administrator can do for the entire organization and focus more towards security, making sure that any email that the users are receiving is actually safe and they should actually be using it. And one of the best ways of doing this is by using transport rules. Transport rules allow administrators to define organizational policies for email flow. So, with the help of transport rules, you can apply message restrictions, disclaimers, and routing conditions. You can block or redirect emails based on the sender, recipient, or content patterns. And lastly, you can automate compliance and policy enforcement across the entire organization from one location. And the best part, all of this can be done over the Exchange Admin Center, the EAC, the GUI based web portal, which will allow you to do it. And as you will see in the upcoming labs and in the upcoming scenarios, we will work a lot with Exchange Admin Center and we will work with a few of these every now and then. So keep that in mind, and I'll see you in the next topic. Now, since we're on the topic of security, let's talk about the biggest risk factor to emails, that is spam and malware. Spam is any unwanted communication that is coming to you that has been sent to you by someone you don't know or you haven't heard of, or it is just junk mail. Malware, on the other hand, is a little bit more dangerous and comes in multiple flavors. The basic understanding term for malware is malicious software. Now, spam and malware together, they are very potent in ensuring that your organization's workflow can collapse. Malware also includes things like ransomware, trojans, rootkits, viruses, worms, all of those things. So we want users to not worry about them and just focus on the work. And we should take up that concern. So this is where Exchange provides us with built-in protection for both incoming and outgoing emails. So you can configure spam filtering, connection filtering, and even content filtering as an administrator. That can also help you to just to stop or just block emails containing certain types of patterns or certain types of contents or coming from certain types of sources. Then you can also manage malware detection and the automatic removal of such malicious emails. So the best example that I can give you for this is that many times users get an email from somebody impersonating the CEO. It might be coming from a legitimate email service online. So the best example is somebody sends an email with the same name as your boss or your manager. But when you look closely, you see that the email address is a gmail.com email address. Now, that is the reason why the email actually came through without getting blocked off or without getting just bounced back. It's called bounce back. So now when that happens, we are now on the back foot right away because they're trying to run something known as a phishing attack, wherein the or it's a social engineering attack, wherein the user is being targeted to either to either give information or to click on a link or download a malicious attachment and try to print it and make sure that it reaches the company's network. All of these are very standard tactics, and as administrators our role is to filter these things out. So keep that in mind. We are going to get attacked from multiple angles. So remember this. This is the best way that I remember this. We don't have to. The opposition doesn't have to win every time. They just need to win once. We have to win every single time. So that is why we have to use as many tools as possible. Now it is also possible that you can use multiple rules or multiple settings on top of each other, and you can create a layer. This will, however, come with its own significant disadvantage. And the disadvantage is the fact that you might, as a user, as the end user, you might notice that your email reception and delivery are very slow. But that is the price of security. So keep all of these things in mind, and we'll talk about this more as we move along with this course or with as we move along this entire topic in general. So now at this point, since we've spoken so much about security, let's talk a little bit more about how we can secure our entire mail flow with the help of TLS. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security, and it ensures that the email sent between you and an external party is encrypted. So one of the major things that it does is not just encryption for internal to external mail flow. It also does it for internal to internal, making sure that throughout the entire network, your entire information is secure. You, as the administrator, will have to manage TLS certificates and enforce secure messaging policies, though. And to and one of the biggest advantages of TLS is that it prevents interception and tampering of sensitive email data, and that makes it very valuable. It is a very good tool to protect against an attack known as attacker in the middle, or we used to call it man in the middle. MITM or AITM, attacker in the middle, wherein the attacker is intercepting the email and giving and are either reading the data or giving you a spoof data. And that in turn leads to a lot of chaos and a lot of unwarranted or unauthorized access. And we want to avoid that. So now let's talk about the best practices for Exchange server management. And let's just keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. So let's just go with these general rules of thumb. Number one, regularly monitor your server's health and also your mailbox's performance. Implement backup and disaster recovery plans. Keep your servers patched and updated with the latest feature updates and security updates. Use role-based access control to limit administrative privileges. Just by doing these minimum baseline things, we can ensure that our entire Exchange server management has already gone up in terms of reliability and in terms of capability. Now, once that is done, then that is where you start going for policy-based controls, but not as any user or any random user. You do delegation. You delegate responsibilities. You use the roles that are provided in Exchange to delegate the responsibility and also bifurcate or separate the duties of administrators. Make sure that one user does not have all the right admin privileges to be doing everything unchecked. That is very important. All of these things are the same that we keep hearing everywhere. And that is why these are called best practices. Remember, in real life, best practices cannot be applied 100%. But that is not to say that we should not try to apply these best practices as much as humanly possible, depending on your situation. And that is what we aim to do. We want to apply the best practices for Exchange Server management as much as your situation allows it to. If your situation does not allow it, it's okay. It's nothing that you did wrong. But not doing anything is far worse than doing something and failing. And keep that in mind. Keep that thought in mind. And I'll see you in the next module. Thank you.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftakademy.com. www.netsoftakademy.com.